Well, we are going to start to ask David Begbie and Dr. Vali what is the concept of beauty for them. But let me give you an introduction, a very short introduction. David Begbie is the very first one in the history of this technique, and I don't care if they're gonna say that it's not true, or some other people or some other artists say that they've done it or whatever, they didn't copy. Yes, they copy him with this technique with a mesh. And here, what I wanted to show in this exhibition is that there has been a development with the technique. Upstairs, you have older pieces and newer pieces downstairs. But not only that, you have beautiful drawings here. This is to show the journey that David Begbie took for decades. So this has not been done yesterday. This is very important. When we did the exhibition, we wanted to do the exhibition, with Christian Contini, the owner of the gallery, myself and David, we decided to concentrate and focus on the concept of beauty. And this is when I started to do something quite interesting. I started to ask everyone I knew, Google, everything, who was the most honest. And the person, no, but it's true. I'm not inventing any word. No, but it's true. This is what I've done personally. That actually the only cosmetic dermatologist, did I say it right? Okay, that didn't want to turn you into a pillow face, but wanted to give you the chance to find yourself. So who better than her? And by the way, I had a recommendation for this lady from Dubai, North America, Asia, and Europe. This is why I contacted her and harassed her, and finally she said yes to me because she's pretty busy. So thank God she said yes to me. And now that you understand why both of them are here, I'd like them to express what they mean when they talk about beauty, okay? Ladies first. There we go.
Thank you. I would have come anyway. If you just came to me directly, I would have come anytime.
I harassed you.
I think I'm not going to give you a standard answer. Everyone always asks me, what do you think of beauty? Obviously, it's an individual thing. But in my field of medicine, lots of strange things are happening at the moment where faces and body shapes are being distorted. Instagram, social media is not helping with your concept of what is aesthetically possible and aesthetically not possible, or what is visually beautiful to the naked eye. And so what we've tried to do in our practice, or the way we approach things, is we look at you and we look at the light reflection on your face, and we look at the contouring of your face and your body and your silhouette. And what we're also trying to do is move away from cultural uniformification or something, I can't remember. Cultural uniform. So I think something you mentioned as well was when you're taking the human body, you're taking the human face, you've got all different types of cultures, and you can't make everyone look the same. So you have to be very respectful of someone being from Asian origin, or someone from being Uzbekistan, or someone from South America, or someone from the GCC area. You have to understand cultural diversity. And your concept of beauty is someone who obviously has confidence, but when they walk into the room, they naturally glow with a nice light reflection. They look like they've slept for 8 hours, they don't look tired, and they look like they're on the ball. Then when you look at beauty, or the concept of beauty, there's something called the gaze analysis. And I get a lot of female clients that come in and ask me for bigger lips and bigger cheeks and stuff like that. And what we do is we teach them about the gaze analysis. And when someone looks at you, they look straight into your eyes first. And then they look at your mouth, and they look at your dentition. Those are the two most important areas on the face. Not this, or not this kind of feature, or not like a stuck-on rhinoplasty. It's the actual light reflection on your face that actually matters. In the same way, it's the light reflection on your body that actually matters. And that's our concept of beauty.
She did that to me. I was scared for life. No, this is not true. To be honest with you, she said that I look good for my age. So I wrote that on a piece of paper and I keep it next to my bed. And I watch it every morning when I wake up. So now we give the word to David. Okay? Please, David, tell us what is beauty for you.
Hi, everybody. A lot of the sculpture that I make are about a contemporary image of ourselves. So I have what I have grown to work with is what I call a contemporary archetypal image of masculine and feminine. And what is important in the work is that it reflects how we actually see ourselves in contemporary times. What is beautiful as a female form and what is beautiful as a male form. And the interesting thing is that quite often when I've actually finished a piece, I realize that some of the female figures are quite masculine because they change as you walk around the sculpture. They have a sort of femininity, but there are touches of masculinity, and similarly for the male figures, that they actually contain elements of femininity. And when you look at the shadow projections in the sculptures, you see that through the distortions, these properties actually become more apparent in the shadow. So things that you see as a fleeting glance in the sculpture itself are emphasized in certain shadow projections. The other thing that I do with multiple figures is by putting male and female together, two contemporary archetypal images of masculine and feminine together, that the tensions and the harmonies in the material itself actually become an analogy for a relationship. This on lots of different levels. On the physical level, they push and pull, the tensions of pushing and pulling each other just to exist in this piece of metal, become a relationship which suggests emotional relationships, sexual relationships, and sort of a struggle, because the flow that runs between the two figures through the material actually shows a tension that has actually creates a relationship between the two figures. And people read these things on a subliminal level often. And the beauty that I am actually projecting in the sculptures often works on a subliminal level, where you understand that the character is very beautiful, but often you can't actually say why. And this is the thing that I would say about beauty from my point of view, that it's not something you can actually define, because it's made up of lots of different things that all come together to make a beautiful object. From a sculptural point of view, the sculpture has its own set of rules, and when the sculpture is finished, it becomes a beautiful item. And I would say that it's the same for people themselves. Faces and bodies and personality all come together to make a complete whole. And I would say it's almost impossible to define what beautiful actually is. I think it's the way that things come together, and it's a very elusive thing.
The thing that, to be honest with you, I just want to tell you something that to me is very important. We didn't plan this. It wasn't script ahead. This is really from the heart of us. The moment, talking to you, that you would talk around the table with your friends or your family. Because we really open our heart to you, as an artist and as an artist. What I've learned from both of them now is that what is important is diversity. It's important that you are proud of who you are, no matter what. I've been very touched once because I had another doctor, a psychiatric from Norway, coming into the gallery, looking actually at a sculpture very similar to the one behind the desk, and the shadow created made it more, how can I say, more Botticelli kind of shape. And he said, you know, Diego, that I specialize in eating disorders. And this would be perfect to make understand that it doesn't matter how you project yourself, as long as you're happy with yourself. You're the true self. You cannot try to be someone else. You cannot try to be 25 if you're 50. I know, I'm 27 and I try to be 22. Why are you laughing? I don't get it. Did I say something funny? Anyhow, I want to thank both of them because, thanks to them, there is still hope. Not only that we are not going to walk around with pillow faces, but also we understand what is real art and the struggle to make art. Did I say, would you like to say the last few words to our public? Okay, ladies first again. Is that okay?
I love what David's done, and I was speaking to David earlier before. Sorry. In terms of his understanding, in terms of his mesh sculptures, the light reflections, the proportionalities, the sculpture of the body, the cultural sensitivity as well. These are all aspects you should look for in any physician that you're looking to undertake anything. But also with David, what he seems to understand is exactly what he pinpointed in his answers, is that beauty is really, really individual. And when we have patients that come in, we really do take a good an hour and a half to understand the psyche behind why they want to do something and why they want to change the light reflections, the proportionality, or the behavior of what people see them to be. And that's something David's really represented really well in his sculptures. And it's really ironic because I asked him, I said, would you do a mesh sculpture of me? And I'm a doctor who's an expert in the field. And I said, you need to stretch me out a little bit and make sure you make sure you make me look skinnier as well. And he's like, everyone else says the same thing to me. I said, just do that as a favor for me. But all of us have insecurities, and it's really important that no one picks them out and takes advantage of them. And what I loved about David's answer, it was we're going to capture where the light hits you best, and we're going to capture the proportionality of you best, and we're going to make sure, and there's something really interesting about his sculptures, is that if you look at them from a distance, you get several different versions of them in several different lights. And that's what we try to do as well. When we're assessing someone, we don't just assess face first or just on features. We go skin deep, we go anatomical proportions. We look at the bone, we look at the skeletal mass, we look at the musculature, we look at the vascularity, we look at their skin typing, their culture, where they've come from, their behavior, what they do in life. We take all this together and then we make a diagnosis. And that's exactly what he was saying to me. For you, we would look at your proportionality, we would look at the light hitting you, and we'd look at the way you would want to be represented in those 3 or 4 different images of yourself through that sculpture.
Thank you. Well, I'm very flattered by that. I think as a last, it's very interesting. I'd like to talk to you again later about all this. But I've said that I've developed an archetypal sense of perfection. And one of the things that I've noticed over the years is that a lot of people aspire to some sense of perfection. I think everybody likes to make the best of themselves, and right down to the very last detail. And you can be perfect for yourself. And I've found that working with life models, that even the most beautiful model, male or female, is not actually happy with themselves. They want to be something else. In my studio, I used to have flexible mirrors, so that if somebody said they were not happy with how they looked, I said, well, I can make you look any way you like. Stand in front of this mirror and tell me when to stop, and I would stretch the mirrors. And you'd be amazed at the effect that has, because somehow it's a liberating thing to be able to change something you don't like. I do this all the time in my sculptures. I physically change something I don't like. And I think for Dr. Vali, I think it takes a lot of courage, really, to even attempt to physically change a real body. In fact, I would say, just to end the conversation and the connection between us, to physically change a human body rather than a sculpture of a human body is the ultimate in figurative sculpture. I think it is sculpture. And I'm very impressed, and I'm absolutely delighted to be able to have a conversation with you here this evening. Dr. Vali, thank you.
Thank you so much.